Good morning. Welcome back to another Soul Days. All right, let's get this started. We're looking at the Bitcoin chart. We've been mapping this out past week. Nothing's changed on this. And it looks like our map is playing out really nicely. This is the 1 day. Looks like we're trying to bounce around, trying to trade in this channel here. We've been calling for some lead angles leading up to here. Nice rising run here. We circled off where this could potentially happen. It happened. I did mention that I believe we're entering into a little bit of a sell-off territory. Market motivation is returning and confidence is leaving. And this is an opportune time. But you're going to see some sell-offs all the while. People who are believing in the market are getting motivated again. We're going to continue to knock up, draw back down. Are we still looking for 5 potentially to conclude? I've mapped out other potentials. Is this a step up on a 3 on the wave? But rather most likely looking for 5 to conclude here. Kind of either way you want to slice it. We need to finish this off here. But great times ahead. This is the market getting ready for some massive moves, getting motivated again. Infrastructure on blockchain, on networks, it's growing, it's getting better, it's developing and building. We've been watching Luna Classic on here too. I involved a little bit of a disclaimer last episode. I know that a lot of people got hurt, but Luna Classic, the operators and the operations on it are, I believe, a far cry from the original Terra. If you're staying on Terra Classic, it could be highly likely if you get involved with the community that you are supporting people who also got hurt by the original Terra. I think Vegas and the Strong 12 are very interesting community figures. I'd love to learn more on the development of who they are. I know there's a really good blog, and I'll be covering that in the coming episodes. Looking forward to what Luna Classic can do right now because meme coins tend to lead the market and lag the market. Luna Classic could be considered as far as price-wise in that meme coin territory, but I believe by no means is it a meme coin. Just like Shiba has left mostly that meme coin territory. Shiba is a far cry from maybe even some layer ones, and what the Shiba ecosystem is offering and how they've been growing and developing is very unique and offers a lot of good opportunity, and it makes engaging and being active in the Shiba community really fun with the return on investment on the GameFi, DeFi settings that they have. Terra Classic is along those lines. Terra Classic is a very interesting one to watch. And we're seeing that being reflected in the market. If we're not focusing on the gains, we're not focusing on the upside only, you could consider Terra, the original, a rug pull, and maybe Terra 2.0, a move away from faith. Terra Classic is a revival and has a story. If it's vengeance, if it's redemption, everybody likes a little bit of a story, right? And I think there's a really good narrative behind Terra Classic, and there's a team and a community to back it up. Really interesting times ahead for a lot of the ecosystem right now happening in crypto, and the infrastructure that could be involved and evolved in Terra Classic provides a really nice opportunity to would-be investors. It's not, not just another meme coin, not just another community-driven project. Okay, and now let's look at Solana. We've been mapping this out past several days, kind of bouncing around, see a clear lead trend here. Are we possibly looking for 5 to conclude, just like we are on Bitcoin? This is a 1 day, 4 hour. Would you consider this a back trace? Either way, we're in an impulse market here. So not going to take very much to affect price. Although if you're following the Elliott wave, it's, we're going to lead up and knock back down. So what you want to probably be doing here is looking for nice channels to live in. Let's look at our other view here. If we had 5 done and we're looking at a 3 move here, then that could even be at play here. So this will be a 2 and we're looking for 3, and that would take us a little bit longer to conclude this run. And that would be more like if we're following along the line of heading into the holidays, where September and October have their narrative in all trading circles, stock and crypto being September and October being bad, could likely be due to holiday pressures, and just a supported narrative that's just been occurring, right? I mentioned that, you know, are we letting the tailor fit our suit? In other words, are we just fitting into a pattern that's already given, assuming a resolution before it happens? However you want to look at it, manipulation doesn't matter, you know. So if this is rather a 3 here, and we're working on a 2 wave, that would have to take us maybe not 100% down, but if it's going to be a 3, then you could actually look for a 3 to turn around here anytime soon. And this is a little off, but maybe yeah, look for something to occur up here again, bring us into the 5 wave territory. But as I mentioned, we'd have to see a different kind of mapping here. We are seeing a lot of overlap though occur. So we'll continue to follow this guide. Looks like it's leading us to a very, very motivated market. And so Solana trending. We've been, we talk about Solana here, we talk about Terra Classic. You're in the right place. All right, so here on CoinDesk or Cointelegraph, more news, more pro crypto news coming out of the Middle East. Iran allowing consumers to enter into talks with regulatory spaces out there. Extremely good news, in my opinion. Regulatory information and news is often spun in a negative manner. As we're here on SoDead, we want political leaders, community leaders to engage in crypto talk. These sort of developments are extremely important. What's most interesting to me is that crypto, while mostly seen as a contemporary trend, I don't think that contemporary and traditional ways of living conflict very much at all. And I think traditional viewpoints on life and society, they'll be at home with things like digital currency, digital assets, and crypto. I think that's where Middle East is finding its place here. This is extremely important overall for the crypto market, and exciting. And so we mentioned other Dubai-based companies entering into agreements with Binance Pay. I like CZ. I think he's an excellent leader and really good for the crypto space. He's navigated litigation very well. He knows how to delegate authority, provide management opportunities to other people in the Binance ecosystem. So here we have his opinion on GameFi territory, and I think it's very weighted. And he brings up some really interesting points. I'm not going to talk too much about it. What I believe CZ is trying to express here is that free to own, free to play, supposed free to play gaming NFTs, especially on Ethereum, or particularly in this case is why he's addressing it, is that it's ETH based. When you're bringing new users, you're exposing them to potentially high costs and a high learning curve. I'm guessing what CZ is implying here is that it could be defacing. It could be a turnoff. And so free to own, free to use, free to play is really not fully accurate. And I think this is a really good point. And I like CZ's approach to this. I don't know if he's really outright criticizing anybody. I just think that he's bringing to light some perspective to the matter, and that I think that he's asking if free to own is a market that's going to grow in the GameFi space. He's asking leaders in that space to look at it a little more closely. And so I think that this accountability trend is going to continue, especially especially in this sort of impulse type market, where you're going to see some impulse buys, and it's not going to take very much to affect price. And this is a development market, right? It's a building time, and And so these are the moments where you start to restructure culture. I think that's what's happening here. This is the leading narrative over the past week or so. And let's, like we've been doing on this show, let's filter out political agenda, distracting news, bringing us back to the ETH merge. We're going to see a lot of news on the ETH merge, up and down, negative, positive, FUD and hype. What we've been talking about is that you often hear that and see that kind of talk post major hand involvement. Major hands have massive insight on quality investments, and that's for a reason, right? And we want to play. This is a good opportunity for us, small hands, to be right alongside major hands, and grow alongside them. I'm not saying ride the coattails at all. I'm saying find success, right? Find a good community that you can grow with. Find that return on investment, that ROI. So more talk on the proof of work potential. This is just, in other words, in my opinion, just a glaze over, just more bringing eyes to light here. And this is, leading talk on an already motivated market in the ETH merge. And if you're going to hear talk about price dumping and whales moving ETH to exchanges, getting ready to dump on the news, buy the rumor, sell the news type of talk on the ETH merge. ETH merge has been happening. It's been underway. It's been ongoing. We all know that, and it's been successful. It's developing. It's growing. It's happening. 2.0 is happening. Whether or not it comes sooner or later, it's coming. Ethereum is arguably the most utilized network in all of crypto. Bitcoin involved also, the level of adoption, of institutional adoption on Ethereum is further ahead than where it was on Bitcoin at the time of or prior to the Lightning Network launch. We just talked about accountability in the space and when that tends to happen. So you're gonna, again, here, FBI asking DeFi platforms to increase security measures. This could be often spun as a negative thing. And let's move forward a little bit here. Congressmen addressing consumer protection on exchanges and other networks. Similar article here. Krishnamurti, same congressman, addressing crypto leaders to account for fraud, be accountable for fraud and scams. What are they doing? This could be spun again as a negative, more negativity coming out of mainstream, but I don't see this as an offensive. I see this as just more crypto talk, which is already a positive thing, and more political leaders, more community leaders, again, reminding crypto people, crypto leaders to be like, hey, what are you doing to develop this space? Where infrastructure is happening on blockchain technology, and institutions are getting in. Federal Reserve Bank is already engaging with crypto-related activity. We're going to talk about Fed now. What are you guys doing to make sure that this is, when the financial market begins to transition fully, what are the crypto leaders in the space doing to be responsible for that safe integration? What are you guys doing in crypto and with crypto to address poor practice and bad business? And are you being accountable for that on your own network, on your own chain, in your own community? This is good. We want to be addressing fraud and scam. I talk about it all the time as an NFT trader too. In down markets like this, it's pretty clear that NFT spaces could be absolutely overrun by scammers, and it can decimate confidence, and it can decimate liquidity, and be really, really bad, especially when you have new users, new liquidity entering the market. That's what you don't want. So this needs to be addressed, right? You can use this as positive development, progressive thought. Coming out of El Salvador, they're delaying the bond issuance. This is probably likely just due to price right now, and they don't want people to get wrecked. It's said here that El Salvador's Congress is yet to pass the legislation on it, and that could likely be passed anyway in September or readdressed. With sell-offs, though, they're likely to occur, right? So it could, just the finance, people deciding on finance in El Salvador, just trying to delay to see where price is going to go to probably provide them guidance on how they're going to roll out issuance on bonds. Here's an interesting one too. So more development on Solana infrastructure. Michael Shalov, Israeli InfoSec operator coming out of the Israeli military and university, potentially a very highly competent guy, leading Fireblocks, developing more direct-to-code security on branching dApps into the Solana ecosystem. This is going to be really interesting on the connectivity and how those protocols are going to turn out, and whether it's going to be used directly through the wallets like Phantom and Solflare. We recently had a major issue with Solflare wallet on Solana. So this is good to hear that information security specialist like Michael Shalov is addressing these opportunities, these issues in the market, and it has to do with Solana, which is a very, very highly competitive blockchain in the crypto market. And infrastructure, arguably on Solana, is going to be extremely, extremely important and massive. And again, so more news, Solana-based infrastructure development and funding. Clockwork, this is going to have arguably direct influence on NFTs and how NFT communities can operate. So a lot of the time, if you're looking at it from a micro point of view, you have like payouts coming from NFTs. This could be as a direct effect on small events like that. So you might be able to eventually check if a NFT project is legit or not, building an automated payout system on the blockchain. And but on the general oversight term, it looks like Clockwork getting funding could take us out of centralized cloud providers and more into decentralized storage providers. Solana already has a major working relationship with Arweave, so it'll be really interesting to see how what they're calling automation tooling play out. But as I mentioned earlier, it could have a really interesting direct effect on NFTs. Here we go. I brought up a pull-up on Solana Arweave Bridge and how much Solana is engaged. So a lot of Solana history is permanently stored because Arweave provides permanent storage on blockchain. A lot of Solana's information is stored there permanently. Arweave saw a massive pump on the news of Solana's partnership. So this comes at the hand of Clockwork now, which is something very similar in that it might streamline automation services directly affected by storage opportunity. and that could free up maybe even processing and computing power. So more infrastructure development on Solana. This is like quietly really big news for Solana. I pulled up some on solanabeach.io, so I wanted to take a quick look following this news and check validator count. You might not have an immediate response, but after this sort of news, this could make operating on Solana a little bit more feasible, and maybe quite possibly, I'm calling it here on this show. Could we see the validator count on Solana, pump up here? I'm looking forward to a plus 2,000 validator count now on Solana. Tried to pull some GitHub information on it, but I'm probably not looking at I didn't really spend very much time looking at all. I don't know if that's even related, but so yeah, another article on Clockwork being invested in. Interesting to know multi-coin capital and asymmetric investing in this automation tool being provided by Chronos, otherwise known as Clockwork. So a little bit more detailed article on the inner workings of the seed round funding and Clockwork itself. But there's this in this article, which is awesome. So let's take a look at this. Solana summer move here, 66% rise on Arweave after that Solana announcement partnership. I don't think that the Clockwork news is too far off. This is just more example of institutional infrastructure building and VCs showing engagement, showing interest in infrastructure buying. Galaxy Digital, one of the top 15 holders of Bitcoin, the number one holder of Ethereum. They're undergoing a CEO change. Got some pullback, 3 arrows and stuff, 3AC. So this $500 million investment here, opening fund being made available. We want to look out for where these VCs are going to put their money, how they're going to issue that payout. We talked about that Solana pump, right? Coming at the foot of news of VCs getting into particular blockchains, Solana being one of them, and the price making a massive move from there. This is a highly motivated market right now, and it will not take very much to affect price. When you look at general consumers, how much they hold, buy, sell, interact with crypto, it's tiny. But so where is all this cap coming from? It's smart investing. It's big buyers. Yeah, so more senators, U.S. senators approaching, engaging crypto-related activity. This could be spun as a negative thing. We say here on Soul Days, we're not trying to deep dive into intention here. Although I think this is very, very, I'm not going to speculate too much on that, but we see and hear Senator Toomey particularly talking about some very interesting moves on his part politically for crypto. He mentioned that he wants to see, less tax or no tax on smaller transactions of crypto. He's talking about it all the time on public forums. So this is excellent news that senators are continuing to engage with crypto-related activity, cryptocurrency, and so apparently Toomey is writing engagement letters to FDIC Chairman Martin Grunberg about how he has reservations about businesses and Federal Reserve Bank, namely, approaching crypto-related activities. And so we brought up a couple of articles released straight out of the Federal Reserve Bank talking about approaching regulation on crypto-related activities, and we saw development on that front from an article produced on August 16th of this month, and then just yesterday, August 29th, an article produced on who exactly is going to head parts of departments beginning to engage, how they can provide regulation clarity to consumers. Fed now feeling the pressure from instant payment services and services of resiliency that blockchain provides on financial agreements. Instant ledger, auto ledger, clear transparency, free access to accounts, free access to account history, timestamping. All of this is highly efficient, highly readable, that could be automated and implemented and instantly available to us for free. And we can check it. We can check integrity right away. It doesn't remove markets like customer service. It doesn't remove jobs like banks and bank tellers and cashiers and consumer service products. What it does is it makes them more efficient. And arguably, I believe it will create more jobs, because there's always going to be customer service. It's just defining, or in other words, redefining how we provide these services and how we expand on financial services and financial opportunity. This is definitely the Federal Reserve and Fed banks feeling the pressure from crypto. All right, so let's jump to here. All right, let's check out what's going on, Magic Eden. So as you guys know, on this show, I like to scale down at the end and take a quick look at what's going on Solana NFTs. I talk about all the time how important NFTs are to not just proving a blockchain's capability, but also demonstrating it and providing service and product at the same time. So there is an importance underlying these NFT activities. Although, I'm going to be honest, I guess you consider me at this point, I don't like to use the term, but DJ at heart. I like art, and I like trading, and this is fun. And hopefully out there are other NFT buyers, Solana NFT buyers in particular, and ETH too. I like Ethereum. I buy and hold Ethereum NFTs just as much. I hope there are some Solana NFT buyers out there watching, and we like to keep Solana NFT liquidity in the market, because that's going to help grow our pockets, grow our value, grow our wallets, our portfolios. We keep liquidity in, we see hikes on transactions. Solana value continues to go up. It's going to be really fun. And, people who have stuck around and had faith, it's not just having faith on a bag pump and type of investment. Solana has the potential, just like Ethereum does, to provide financial services to the rest of the world. And, I'm not trying to engage in like wag me talk. It definitely, NFTs, it's not a wag me environment, although it can be in ideal circumstances. But it's not like trying to change the world, do good type stuff. But of certain generations, there needs to be an opportunity for people to grow. And if people are putting faith in risky assets that will make the world and society operate at a more efficient and more fun and better level, like creating more jobs and providing better infrastructure, in actual like educational type terms, going to be really important and really interesting. So, yeah. How is buying Shremps going to lead to all that? I'll let you be the judge. I'm not, I'm just bringing ice to light here, and I hope you guys enjoy some some Solana NFT carousing. So Shremps, yeah, shrimp farming. You know, let's check out Pesky Peguins. I'm not a holder yet. I've been looking at them a lot lately because I want to get into an OG project. You know, I'm not actually holding any OG type, what you could consider OG projects. I see that the Pesky Peguins PFP users are holding strong. They're still using them. They're pretty engaged in the community. Some of them are pretty fun to approach on Twitter. So I've been eyeballing Pesky Peguins, although I haven't gotten in. But if you're new out there and you're thinking about it, I think this is a good opportunity to get into a project that's been around, and you want that. You want that from NFTs. You know, I would not be the one to encourage you to get into some new project as a new buyer on NFTs. You know, so I am talking about somewhat fairly new projects, but I think these sort of projects have kind of shown some backbone. And one of them being SoDead's. I like the SoDead community. I like the SoDead art. I mentioned we talk about NFT Inspect every once in a while, and the underlying value that I believe it provides as far as connecting communities and like-minded interests across, a very vast social media network. And it's arguably operating outside of the NFT ecosystem on the Twitter platform. SoDead's often battling for that one of those top 100 spots, and what that looks like is being on the front page of the community rankings. And so if you're a new buyer and you want instant value and you're engaged on social media, getting into projects that are new, that provide really good opportunity for return on investment and a good entry price, that's why ROI, and a community, more importantly, that you could grow with and learn with. SoDead's provides a really good advantage in that angle. So SoDead's actually might be, are we in top 100? No, we can't be this high up, can we? Yeah, shucks. So, but then, there's some fluctuation on rankings here, clearly. So 112 on SoDead's, and that's based on the engagement. Yeah, sorry, tickle. Tip. Still enjoy waking up to lowball offers for my notifications. Sip my coffee. Check the ring bell. All right, so there you have it. Solana showing some lead diagonals here, bouncing around. We're gonna do this. Leave that there. On the 1 day. Another view here on the volume side. So where's this going to take us? I mentioned if you're looking at a math-based approach, one of our major bottom lines might be considered based on an exponential ratio would be about $22. And if you're using that same guide, Matrices guide, 60% off for $22 would be about $8. So I don't think we're going there. Although this is the path, we're on that path that might take us there. I am saying though that if there are any more major macro developments, negative developments, if there are some major macro issues, then, you know, yeah, it could be stunning. However, this is a highly motivated market, and being down in the mid 20s, if we're going to go there in September, going down to $8, I mean, that just makes the market more ready, more motivated, in my point of view. Makes impulse buys that much more effective, So in this sort of market environment, you're going to want to look for channels that you can live in for the time being. One last look at Bitcoin. So we drew the circle out, and we're playing out in that circle here. We ended up here. So this is struggling to remain. If we can break this, I don't know. I'm not gonna really think about that. Just keep in mind that this is our range here. This is our new range, or not really new. I mentioned on Twitter back in June that this is our range, 25 and 18. So I think that entering this motive sequence here with confidence lost and motivation entering, this channel, you can scribble up with it. All right, leave it there. I'd like to hear from you guys on the comments. Let me know what you think. If you've been following our charts here, what do you think about those? You want me to look at some particular NFTs? I'd like to do a little bit more of the NFT live TA, even though it's not live, it's a recording, but I'm doing it live as I'm trading it. So if you have an idea of what project you want me to take a look at, let me know. Got any questions? I'll continue to expand out, talking about Solana and Bitcoin very often, and Ethereum. Sometimes Cardano. I'm looking in the smaller caps too with you guys. I don't want to share too much with my, those sorts of endeavors. But we'll look at opportunity, and I'll keep bringing it. Anyway, have fun, trade safe. See you on the next one.